All right. Welcome everybody, and welcome to Affordable Housing Week. If you weren't already in the know, now you know it's Affordable Housing Week. So this is our annual maximizing utility incentives portion of the programming, and we're really grateful to Willdan for again pulling the group together and bringing this great set of speakers and information to us all. So without further ado, I'm going to mute myself and turn it over to Jason Chung from Willdan.
Thanks, Laura. I'm going to share my screen here and we'll get things going. Can everybody see that? Should be the first slide.
We're looking at your desktop right now.
Yet again. Okay. Let's see. All right. How about now?
Yep,
Yes.
looks good on my end.
All right. Okay. Well, first of all, I want to thank Laura. It's so nice to have a partner here in Washington who's working so hard for the needs of the affordable housing community. We're very honored and happy to be here and support that work, and talk about how we could help with the energy design of your projects, and in the end of that process, hopefully get you an incentive that is that's worth it. So in that regard, we're kind of like a money tree, and so let's make a little progress here and get going. Here's today's agenda. We have representative from Puget Sound Energy, or from the Puget Sound utilities with us. So we'll do some introductions and let them talk about their respective utilities. Then we'll take a few minutes to talk about what the program actually does and how it works, and just what it is that we call energy design assistance. Our state program manager, Gunnar Brent, will present a case study, and then we'll have an opportunity to take some questions. So without further ado, let me introduce the folks that are going to be on today's call. As Laura said, my name is Jason Chung, and I'm what's called an outreach specialist here at the Willdan Group. We've been doing this for about 30 years, and we work with about 50 utilities in a couple of dozen states. So we've had some practice doing this. My job is to find new construction projects, get them enrolled into the program, and then keep hunting for the next one. At this point, I'm going to hand it off to Gunnar Brent, and he can introduce himself.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, like Jason said, my name is Gunnar Brent. I am the program manager for all the utility incentive programs that we offer here in the great state of Washington. I always like to describe my role as just connecting the customers, the owners, the architects, the developers who are working in the affordable housing ecosystem, and connect them with the incentives, the grants, the design assistance, utility allowances, and any other work we can help support the development of more affordable housing in this region. So that's my role.
Okay, thank you, Gunnar. And how about PSE? Alex?
Yeah, my name's Alex Huff. I'm a program manager with Puget Sound Energy, working with Willdan with our multifamily and new construction program.
Great. Julie?
Hi, my name is Julie Banerjee. I work at Tacoma Power as a supervisor of our lighting and new construction programs.
And Michael?
Good afternoon, Michael Coe with Snohomish County PUD, and I manage the Energy Design Assistance Program with Willdan here at Snohomish.
And last but not least, Treya.
Hey everyone, Trey Valancourt. I work at Seattle City Light, and I'm a program manager across a few of our residential energy efficiency and renewable energy programs.
Thanks, everyone. So let me just explain why energy efficiency matters in affordable housing. It's especially important because energy costs can be such a much bigger burden for low-income families. So therefore, even small improvements in your energy efficiency in design can make a big impact on their monthly bills, as well as their comfort and their health. And also the developers of these building project owners can hopefully benefit from these programs. So these are some of the reasons we're focused on the affordable housing community. I mentioned early, oops, sorry. Our company that we have, we're kind of a major player in this very kind of weird little niche. And so we're market leaders in being able to manage these complicated utility incentive programs for utilities around the country. When it comes to new construction, it's an engineering service that we provide, and we've been working in Washington for about 5 years. These are the utilities that we currently work with here in Washington. As you can see, we go from Whatcom County up in the north down to, and you can't really see it on this map, but Clark County in southwestern Washington. But basically, most of the big utilities along the I-5 corridor are in our service area. Utility overviews. Alex, if you'd like to say some words about Puget Sound Energy.
Yeah, thanks, Jason. As a quick overview, so Puget Sound Energy, we service over 1.2 million electric customers and another 900,000 natural gas across 10 counties in Washington. And we are committed to net zero by 2030 and 100% carbon free by 2045. Then we can go to the next slide. And so looking at where I work, where the multifamily new construction program falls under is our customer energy management department, which works to help customers to reduce and shift their energy use, largely through programs that are tailored for customers such as small businesses, multifamily properties, and low to moderate income customers. And aside from the multifamily new construction program that we work with Willdan on, we also have the efficiency boost and home weatherization assistance, which are programs that help low to moderate income homeowners make energy efficient improvements to their homes at little to no cost, depending on the qualification. And so looking at specifically multifamily new construction as it concerns more this presentation, we use a whole building performance approach that pays an incentive for each kilowatt hour saved. And we have an incentive 50% higher than standard incentives for affordable housing projects specifically, where you'd be eligible for 68 cents per kilowatt hour saved. And then just a couple of quick updates on that program is that one, we're working on launching a demand response incentive, which will include rebates on equipment and incentives for energy savings. So that's, if anybody is talking with Jason or anybody else from Willdan, that's certainly something to keep in mind. And then taking into account some feedback that we've received in the past was that understanding that one of the barriers to participating in our multifamily new construction program was when incentives were paid out due to taxable events. And so we are now accepting temporary certificates of occupation and can pay upon reception of that rather than the traditional CO, since that should reduce the taxable event to make it more accessible. But yeah, I think that's kind of everything that I have from my end. So I'll pass on to the next. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Next up is Michael Coe with SnowPUD. Take it away, Michael.
Yeah, thank you. Go to the next slide there, please, Jason.
Sure.
And so, in case you don't know who we are at the PUD here, we are in Snohomish County, just located right above King County in Seattle area. We are all of Snohomish County, a portion of Island County, which includes Camino Island there, and there's actually a couple hundred people that are actually in Skagit County that we provide power to because of the availability of transmission and whatnot. We're very proud to say we're a public power. We are owned by our customers. We report to 3 commissioners that are elected on a 6-year cycle. So the customers have a direct say in how we do things and how we operate. Our power supply currently, we say 90% plus, we're closer to 97, 98% plus all the time. We just kind of hedge against that a little bit because sometimes we do have to go out in the open market and purchase power, and we don't know where those electrons are coming from. We are the second largest public utility in Washington State. We serve over 900,000 people and businesses. And we also focus on our employees here to make sure everybody feels welcome and can thrive in the environment in which we all work in. Next slide, please. So we do have our Energy Design Assistance Program at Willdan. As Alex mentioned, we also have the 50% adder on top of our incentive. So we have 45 cents a kilowatt hour for new construction or major remodel, and then a 50% adder for multifamily complexes where the population of the residents are at least 51% of the total population are income qualified. So that happens. We do provide a 50% incentive over the 45 cents. And also, if the facility is all electric, we provide another 25% on top. And those are additive. So you can actually see a 75% increase over that 45 cents a kilowatt hour. Next slide, please. I want to talk about some of our other programs we offer that participants can interface with us. We have our Green Home Rewards. So this is single family new construction. It is managed by PSD Performance Systems Development. And we provide incentives that build above energy code, similar like on the commercial, industrial, multifamily side. If it's above code, we can provide incentives for it. It's a relatively new program for us. We implemented it in December 2024, and we've done over 500 homes in the first year, and we've actually done almost 300 homes just this year alone. So that's going really well. Next slide. I want to talk about our income qualified weatherization program. So this is a program we work with Snohomish County specifically to do. We provide them money in order to work with our income qualified customers. As you can see, there's some big numbers in there. Last year, Snohomish County offered up $2.6 million for funding, and that's through us, through BPA, PSE, all different kinds of the HEAP, by HEAP, all that good stuff is all going in there. So been very successful. We started working with the Opportunity Council for including income qualified weatherization for Island County. Like I said, we have a Camino Island in there, so we can offer that through Island County. We are currently working with Snohomish County on our first multifamily retrofit job, so we're excited about that. And we're also working with Snohomish County to facilitate workshops for mobile home parks and underserved communities across the county. Next slide, please. We do offer a discount program on rates for customers that meet the qualifications, 25 or 50% discount on rates. I brought this in just to kind of show, as you can see, our participation in that discount program has grown as of January 2025. Part of that is due to the economy or economic situations that we currently find ourselves in, but I'm also going to say it's attached to how we reached out to people. We have a little note down there from the Everett School District. We've been doing when a elementary school student is at the is enrolled in elementary school, and they could possibly be available for the free lunch. There's a eligibility letter is sent out to the parents and that goes along with that is our way of signing up for the discount program. So that's one of the ways. Other ways, if you are already under Section 8 housing, you're automatically rolled into our discount program. So making it easier for people to participate in this program is how we're driving that. And as of for April, I believe we were at almost 21,000 people that have signed up for the discount program. So we're very excited about that. Next slide, please. And so just highlighting some other things here, working with the Community Partner Coalition. I'm sorry? Okay. Trying to work the picture of the two women there. Missy Welch is the one with the glasses. She actually is the person leading the charge on this for Snohomish. And she's been very active in doing outreach and getting more people signed up and getting more work done. And with that, I will say thank you.
All right. Treya, would you like to say some words about Seattle City Light?
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Jason. So Seattle City Light, we're also a public power institution, so we function as a department of the city of Seattle. Though you'll see our service territory expands further north and further south than the city itself to include some other jurisdictions and parts of unincorporated King County. And as a department of the city, we answer to the city council and the mayor as we launch programs, change rates, and generally kind of operate the utility. We're very proud to be also upwards of 90% carbon free, where our power mix is dominated by hydro. We have a number of dams in the North Cascades that power the majority of our service territory. And I'll just note as we talk through some of our offerings for this audience, we have an awesome set of what we call energy advisors. They work for Seattle City Light and have knowledge about all the different programs we offer and work often with all of our different customers. So if you have any questions, of course, feel free to reach out to me, but our energy advisors are available over phone, email, and on the web, and are a wealth of knowledge to help you navigate all of our offerings. Next slide, please. So in our kind of affordable housing solutions grid, we have, just like SnowPUD talked about, a utility discount program for individual customers. This will apply both to their electric utility bill at Seattle City Light as well as their utility bill with SPU. So all of your other utilities will be included in a 50 to 60% discount. This is really important both for supporting our tenants, but also it really helps to get buildings as a whole income qualified for some of the building upgrades that we'll talk about. On the building upgrade side, we have a few different offerings. We have HomeWise that we run in conjunction with our Office of Housing in Seattle. That's our income qualified weatherization plus program that's for single family and multifamily homes. For single family, it can cover up to 100% of the cost of upgrades. In the multifamily space, it can be up to 90%, but will vary based on the design of the project itself. We have a number of multifamily specific programs. Of course, we're talking today about the Energy Design Assistance Program. Seattle City Light participates in that with Willdan and our other utility partners here, and has a similar setup where we have a market rate of 45 cents per kilowatt hour and that adder so that our affordable housing partners can access close to 68 cents per kilowatt hour. We also have incentives for existing buildings, what we kind of call retrofit, as well as opportunities for EV charging and renewables. Next slide, please. So wanted to include this for a reference for everyone. I promise not to drain the slide, but in our retrofit incentives column, we're really excited to have recently introduced increased incentive amounts for our income qualified buildings. This is where that UDP participation for tenants can really make a huge difference. If at least 50% of a building has their residents enrolled in UDP, they are qualified for the increased incentive amounts. And so you'll see those red boxes call out kind of what's new for us. We've launched these new income qualified measures, and we've gotten our storm windows out since the last time that we were able to talk with this audience last year. We also have EV charging incentives, both for affordable housing and for multifamily buildings that may not be income qualified. Up to 100% of project costs are covered for our affordable housing partners, and generally 50% is covered for market rate, though there is up to 100% cost coverage for anyone looking to get a 240-volt outlet for EV charging onto their property. And as always, there's a few ways to access incentives with us. And so for simple projects, we also have discounts on heat pumps, heat pump water heaters, and lighting. So if you're not doing a whole big project, but you just need to make a few upgrades, we're here to help you with that as well. Next slide, please. In the last opportunities, I'll just note we have a strategic energy management program, and that's a longer term collaboration between a cohort of we actually just launched a multifamily cohort, so a cohort of like businesses working together to better understand how their building uses energy and what operations and maintenance improvements they might be able to make to save energy, improve comfort for their tenants. And we'll also just plug our renewable generation and community solar portfolios. We do not offer upfront incentives for building solar on your property, but we work with affordable housing to qualify for long-term incentives for the energy that you send back, and have a number of new offerings in the work, specifically meant to help affordable housing providers share the benefits of their rooftop solar with all of the tenants in their building. So we look forward to sharing more on that next year. Thank you.
All right.
And Jason, do you mind, before we move on, I'm going to interrupt. We have a question specifically about SCL in the chat from Drew Cunningham for Treya. Treya, are you able to see the chat, or can I just read it to you? Can you maybe address that and see, let the folks know on the phone, because many of them are SCL developers and clients?
Absolutely. I'll take a look right now. Thank you.
Thanks. And I guess we can come back to the...
Okay. And last but absolutely not least, Julie from Tacoma Power.
Great. Yeah. So I would say that Tacoma Power has one of the most unique service territories that I've ever seen. We've been publicly owned since 1893 and serve cities in the north, such as the city of Tacoma, all the way south to Roy and some areas of unincorporated Pierce County. We're on the smaller side, serving about 180,000 customers, a lot of which are outside of the city of Tacoma itself, with an interesting mix of commercial and industrial customers, but mostly residential folks. You'll see our energy mix is a little bit different, but also mostly hydro, a lot of which is self-generated by our own dams as well. We have a similar mission, being a public power provider, delivering clean, reliable services that are essential to quality of life. Next slide. We have a lot of the same offerings. I wanted to highlight some of the other things that we provide here, one of which is a really interesting loan program. This is specifically for rental properties where we have a forgivable loan for 0% interest on energy efficiency projects. This is over a 5-year time span and with a maximum loan amount of $20,000. This does depend on what is being installed. So for example, for maybe a smaller single family home where a landlord wants to install a ductless heat pump system, they would be eligible for a loan of up to $16,000. A central heat pump system that's variable speed could be eligible for a maximum loan up to $20,000. And this will qualify up to 100% of project installation costs. To qualify, we also have affordability requirements. So keeping an annual rent increase below 6% for duration of that 5-year loan, reporting rent amounts, etc. And it's a really cool program that is not available at most other utilities, particularly that forgivable loan portion. We also have a payment assistance program similar to the utility discount program at Seattle City Light that has both a bill credit assistance and then a discount rate on the actual portion of the bill that is at 35%. Next slide. We also have other types of deferred loans or zero interest loans to go along with some of those multifamily or single family and manufactured home offerings on the right-hand side. So not only for rental properties, but also for homeowners, we have both financing. So like those deferred loans that are tied to maybe your home value when you sell, you can pay back the loan for any of these products on the right-hand side, or you can have a rebate at the time that you are purchasing that upgrade. So that's a really fantastic financing mechanism that we have available. And sometimes you can get both a rebate and financing options. Sometimes it is one or the other. So all of these, when you get the presentation, all of these links will take you to the corresponding information, and you can get a little bit more in depth on each of those. On the left-hand side, you'll also see more information, if you can go back, yep, on our mid and high-rise multifamily and commercial offerings. This is the program through Willdan that other folks were talking about, but with our kilowatt hour incentive rate, which is 26 cents a kilowatt hour for that market rate multifamily. And then it sounds like we might provide the highest for affordable multifamily, which is 80 cents a kilowatt hour. Thank you.
All right. Okay, so thank you to all of our utility partners. I'm going to stop my video here because the program is the focus here. So we're now going to take a few minutes and explain just exactly what we mean when we talk about energy design assistance. We've done our best over many years to streamline the process so we could take something that would normally be pretty complicated and do our best to simplify it. We also try to do our best to minimize the amount of time and energy that we take from the development teams and the architecture teams out there. We try to do the work to move the process along and keep the work on our side. It does provide a free energy modeling based protocol, so you get the benefit of our analysis that we try to make collaborative with your teams. And we almost always get a result that results in a healthy 5-digit incentive, and for bigger projects, even more. A good trivia question actually might be, which utility has paid the biggest incentive and how much was it? And I will answer that if it comes up in the chat. Our objectives are to help Washington realize aggressive clean energy goals and benefits, and also for your building, especially, again, in the affordable sector, to drive outcomes that result in a building that is just simply more efficient and costs less to operate. Why participate? We do provide an energy modeling and design review process that is complimentary And we help you explore ideas that maybe you're not thinking of, or maybe you don't want to use your own resources to examine or run the numbers on. So we can do that for you, and you can get a good comparative idea if something actually does make sense, that would look like it was, maybe beyond your stretch, so that we can inform you, in many cases, help you rationalize that. We also support the funding, and the WishFIC funding in particular, which requires that you basically check a box and say, yes, we are participating in the utility incentives on our project. Program eligibility is pretty straightforward. Be located in one of the partner utilities service territories. It's got to be a commercial, industrial, or multifamily property. Sorry, single family. And it's got to be of sufficient size, as there are some minimum square footage requirements. Although some of our utilities do offer what we call express EDA, which is kind of sort of like the Express EDA or the EDA program in a box, or the TurboTax version of it. I will say, and I can't really stress enough, how critical it is for the project to be enrolled before any design decisions have been finalized. It is never, ever too early, but it absolutely can be too late. And, it is an incentive program. And to qualify for the incentive, the project does need to exceed the energy code under which it is permitted. What to expect? We really, really put a heavy premium on collaboration. It may, at first glance, appear to be duplicative, because you may have already had teams working on your energy design. But like I said, we try to be collaborative. You can lean on us to explore things that you maybe wouldn't want to use your own resources on. And actually, we're required to verify and document all we do through the process. So verification and documentation, not a problem. I'm going to let Gunnar say a few words about our modeling software called NEO.
Sure. Thanks, Jason. So NEO is Willdan proprietary software, stands for Net Energy Optimizer, and it is the primary tool that we use to analyze your building. We essentially take a baseline model. In this instance, we're going to base it off of the Washington State Energy Code, under which your project is permitted under. And we're going to build three separate bundles. And you can think of these bundles as good, better, best. Bundle one might be your current design, which you already have proposed in the design drawings. Bundle two might build off of that by, grabbing some low-hanging fruit, doing some sort of easy changes, better lights, better windows, better walls. And bundle three is the best. So we might think, let's completely redesign the HVAC or the hot water system. And this maybe is as far as we want to stretch the project. And what Neo will do is it will take those three bundles and it will show you not only the actual energy use by system, whether it's heating, cooling, pumps, fans, but it'll also show you various financial metrics, which are important to making a decision. These are things like energy cost savings, incremental first cost, the actual incentive that the utility is willing to pay for those improvements. Payback, EY, if you're, concerned about clean building standards. And with all of that, ideally, we want you to make a decision on the bundle that fits your team's goals and the design intent of the building. So think of Neo as a tool that we use to help you come to a decision on what energy efficiency measures most align with the project's goals.
I want to talk a minute about the process. So I said earlier, it's never too early, and I stand by that. But the kind of the sweet spot for enrolling is right in schematic design and design development. That's the stage where we can have the most influence on the building design and get the kind of wring the most out of the program and what and for us to show you what energy efficiencies that you could add to your building. Sometimes on a case-by-case basis, we can take a project that is closer to construction, but honestly, the program works the best for you and your design teams if we get involved earlier. We've, like I said earlier, we've been doing this a long time, and we've learned how to streamline our process. We get the job done in these 5 steps. Um, you know, the first step is enrollment. That's usually done with me. It takes about 5-10 minutes. After that, there is a preliminary analysis. We call that the intro meeting. That's about a half-hour meeting where we get to learn about your project and you get to learn about us. And we will explain how we're going to model your new construction project. A few weeks after that, we'll have the final analysis, or what we call the results meeting. That is a 60 to 90-minute meeting where we go through and show you the bundles that Gunnar was just talking about: good, better, best. You'll pick one, and then basically after that, we wait. We handle the paper flow from there. We may, need some updates here and there, but by and large, we just kind of wait till the project is done. When the project's done, there is a short verification process, and after a few weeks after that, you'll get your check from the utility. So we really only need your help on the first 3 steps. We manage like I said, we manage the last ones and take care of the paper flow for you all the way through. We also have found that it's really, really advantageous to make applying for the EDA program part of your standard procedure when you're proceeding with a project. Adding a reminder into Microsoft project towards the end of SD or the beginning of DD with a task that just says register for utility incentives along with a link to the registration form, puts it right there, and is a quick and easy way to not forget it. It becomes routine. Maybe even an administrative task and doesn't get missed. Second step, add it to your software. Guess I went a little ahead of myself on that last stage, but this helps guarantee that eligibility isn't lost due to timing or oversight, which unfortunately we do see happen. Something just falls out of the crack. Establish a point of contact. This is really great, especially for me, to identify a main point person familiar with how these programs work. That way we can, do a pipeline check every few months to see what kind of new projects you might have. Normally, we're trying to find the individual project team lead, which may not be practical, isn't always the best use of everyone's time, and they might not be familiar with the program. I may call 5 different designers or architects at an architect's office when I could call one person who kind of is taking the lead on identifying and keeping track of uh, which projects might be eligible for the program. Um, Before I hand off to Gunnar, I want to highlight something that was started by my predecessor, John Bringenberg. We're really proud of it, and it's our Sustainability Stars program. It started with PSE, but this covers all of Washington. We started to post the logos of these companies that have participated multiple times in the program. If you're in the audience here and you've participated 2 or 3 times and you don't see your logo here, please let me know because we absolutely want to have you on here. We really appreciate that these are the folks who care enough to make sure that their projects get this kind of scrutiny and this kind of utility support to make their projects rather as good as they can be. So with that, let me hand it off to Gunnar, who is going to present an affordable case study.
Thanks again, Jason. So now that we've talked a little bit about the program's background, it's probably going to be helpful if we can actually step into a real life example to sort of illustrate what it would feel like to go through the EDA program. So here we've got our case study project. It's multifamily new construction, affordable housing, around 60,000 square feet, has 56 residential units and some spaces for childcare and offices. And for this project, we're going to use an incentive rate of 70 cents per kilowatt hour saved over the baseline, which case is the Washington State Energy Code. So this is going to be our case study that we're going to build out those 3 bundles that I just talked about. So here we've got the good, better, best approach. The good is reflective of the product's current design. For example, we might assume certain envelope values for roof insulation, for glazing. You might have a split system heat pump serving the units, some idea of the baseline or the lighting power density that they're going to be installing. An idea of the plug loads. In this case, maybe they have washers and dryers, but they're only going to be buying Energy Star refrigerators, and an idea of the domestic hot water system. So you could see that in this first bundle with the current design, this project would qualify for some savings, some cost savings, and an incentive that is certainly healthy. But as you kind of move along these bundles, you'll see that both the cost savings goes up, that then you can return to the tenants, but then the incentive also increases. So our better bundle just builds off of a few different things. It makes some small changes. Um, these modest upgrades might include a better R value in the roof. Maybe you spend a little bit extra for communicating thermostats, better light fixtures, and that brings the lighting power density down. Maybe instead of just the refrigerator, we also make the dishwasher Energy Star certified. And you can see with just a few steps, we've gone up several percentage points, brought our incentive up another $20,000 and saved $7,000 in cost savings. So those sort of marginal steps are what kind of really can drive and make the difference for both the tenants and for the utility. And then lastly, just for the most exciting examples is bundle 3, and this is our ambitious high performance approach. In this scenario, we might not just improve the roof insulation, but the walls, the windows, getting really close to triple pane. Incorporate smart thermostats, install super high efficient LEDs throughout the space. We go all in on our appliances, refrigerator, dishwasher, the dryer and washer, all Energy Star certified. We put a heat pump water heater, a centralized system in, and we install low flow fixtures to get the most out of that heat pump water heater. And now we've gone up to around $80,000 in potential savings, and we've seen sort of how those incremental steps and how we've bundled it. We've given customers options on which measures they might find most attractive. And the best thing about Neo is we can mix and match all of these. So maybe you want to see the heat pump water heater but not any additional changes to the mechanical system, that's also fine. We have the ability to do that. Thanks. Will you go to the next slide, please? Thanks. So, how did the product ultimately perform? Well, we chose the most ambitious bundle here. We got 80 or $79,000 in an energy grant. That's 27% of energy cost savings. Again, those cost savings are passed along to the tenants themselves. They actually got to see smaller utility bills as a result of that. We saved 132,000 kilowatt hours. That's equivalent to 1,500 trees, 96 acres of forest, and around 5 garbage trucks. So that was huge already, but the important thing is the cost savings. So 27% energy cost savings is roughly $13,000 of a year annually. So if you were to just do some rough math, you would find that's probably around $200 in reduced utility costs per household. So that meant lower utility bills for customer, and that meant not just cheaper rates or cheaper bills, but the building is more comfortable, it's healthier, and it's a more efficient place to operate and live in for the long term. Now, in addition to those bundling and the modeling we do in energy design assistance, I felt it was important to highlight some of the other things that go into EDA. And it's those bonus incentives that we talked about, that extra kicker, that bonus that helps offset that first high cost for affordable housing developers. But all of our programs have sort of flexible eligibility criteria. This might mean we're open to accepting smaller projects. We're open to letting projects in that don't save as much. We do extra outreach. We attend these events and host these events. This helps broaden our eligibility so that small projects don't get missed out, and projects that with small budgets also feel like they can participate. Additionally, we're also a WishFIC approved energy modeler. So that means we're listed on the website. We can submit letters of engagement. And that means if you're pursuing something like the Evergreen Sustainable Development Standard, you can earn credits by using our service for that certification. And then lastly, we want to start advertising this more, but utility allowance calculations, this is where we combine our energy model results with financial calculators to provide value to the development team. In some instances, you can provide or prove that the lower utility bill reduces the cost of the tenant, and that can be a reason to charge more for rents, and that can help provide a larger loan amount. And that loan amount can pay for things like energy efficiency upgrades. And so we want to build again this relationship between both the developers and the customers that we're going to be serving to maximize the most benefit to the tenants that are living in these income qualified buildings. I get this next question asked a lot, and it is, what are the most common savers that you guys see? For this particular project, it was in line with these trends. Things like lighting power density, that's why lighting's super important when we talk about the building design. Make sure your electrical engineers have that figured out. Service water heating is a huge component of just residential buildings. So we see that saves us a lot of energy, especially when it comes to individual versus centralized systems. The code and the sort of general sentiment is to move towards those centralized systems, so we see a lot of savings there. Second is appliances. I think that they're an important component because they're in most units if you're building doesn't have sort of a shared or a leased space. If they're in units, they draw a lot of energy. We like to see Energy Star Premium. But also we're interested in exploring heat pump dryers or combined washer and dryers with heat pumps to again expand the offerings and savings that you can earn. And then lastly, we want to talk about glazing and mechanical. They're less, but they still are an important part of the overall savings when it comes to energy design assistance. Other things to think about, smart plumbing design. We're open to another technology called luminaire level lighting controls. These are all things, and if you have new ideas and new things you want to try out, come with us with those ideas. We'd love to model them. Thanks. Will you go to the next slide? And I want to just end us off with a few tips and tricks to know. Every program's a little bit different. There are a few sort of through lines, though, that I can explain. First is that advanced water heating system. Water heating is a big component of the energy loads in multifamily buildings, and it's a huge reason we pay out a lot of incentives. The early coordination is important so that we can understand your water design, and we're finding that decentralized systems are getting a lot of bang for their buck. We're also interested in exploring things like wastewater heat recovery. So think about that, have your plumbing designer on early, and come with us with your ideas. We'd love to incentivize those. Second is put permanent light fixtures in. We can't incentivize switched outlets, so in the retrofit context, this could mean that it might be hard for us to pay for things that are plugged in. We wanna pay for those permanent sort of recessed lights that go in and stay in for the life of the building. Second or third, excuse me, in-unit laundry is eligible. It's a big part of it. But if the laundry space is leased, like you have a third party or a vendor that comes in and puts the equipment in, we can't qualify that equipment because it's being purchased or brought in by a different vendor. So just keep that in mind as well. And then lastly, it's important not to get lost in the choices, all the measures and things I talked about earlier. You are not beholden to the bundle. So if things change, if value engineering becomes a component and you need to move things around, the budget is difficult, these bundles are flexible and can be customized to meet whatever needs that you have. Ultimately, the important thing is that you get something at the end of the process. There's three key takeaways, and I think I did good on time here. I'll leave 5 minutes for questions at the end. One is that affordable housing projects qualify for these enhanced incentives. It's more than just a bonus. It's the extra time, it's the extra work, and the our qualifications with WishFIC that make it easier for you to work with us. Second is the small things can add up quickly. Just going between bundle one and two can be small things, but you'll notice that they interact with other measures, and soon you have a bigger pot of money than you started with. And third is that energy efficiency supports not just developers and the fact that we provide you the design assistance and the incentive, but the tenants get the cost savings for the life of the building. And that's incredibly important in instances where the development team is the ownership team, where you're building and developing these things and then operating and maintaining them for the future of the building. So I'll end it there and we'll kind of go the last 5 minutes to see if there are any kind of questions about anything I've said, Jason, or any of the other utility managers have brought up.
I'll hop in here just to note that there was an item in the chat, and I recognize this group is largely talking about new construction, so maybe this is something for us to take offline, but just in case there's anybody available on the call to address this, there's a question about hearing concerns that replacing electric baseboard heating with dual purpose heat pumps isn't always possible because of the increased power draw during cooling season is speculated to overload the power distribution infrastructure. Just wondering if anybody has experience dealing with that from your position. And if not, we can take it offline.
Yeah, if I'll just chime in. I just answered that I don't know much the retrofit perspective, but I do know for new construction it's a non-issue because you've presumably sized your transformer appropriately to the power draw. But I'd love to know if there's anyone else in the chat who's experienced that with retrofit.
And I think that also lends itself well to the other question that I had, and just wondering of the different incentive programs that were shared today, do some of them also work for retrofits? I recognize that getting in early on a new build is really important, but I'm wondering if some of the incentive programs on a per kilowatt hour basis or on a direct rebate basis are also available to retrofits.
Yeah, all of them are do have major retrofit routes. It will just obviously depend on the scale of the retrofit. So if you're doing a simple one-to-one like electric baseboard to heat pump, that might not be a good fit for our program per se because we're doing a holistic energy model. We want to see, three systems changed, and maybe that's the architectural, lighting, and HVAC. Um, and that's easier for us to model. But in terms of a one-to-one, it might be difficult. So again, I don't have a great answer for that particular, but I do know for a fact that all the programs have major retrofit programs.
Great, thanks. All right. Any burning questions from the group? Thank you all for staying with us. It's great information today.
And if you do have any questions about the program, or if you have hopefully a project that you want to enroll, my email and phone number are on the screen, and I very much look forward to talking to you.
And I will close this out by also noting that this has been a recorded session. Once it is posted up on our YouTube, I will forward the YouTube link to the entire group of registrants along with a PDF of the slide presentation. And it usually takes a couple days, so look for that probably Thursday of this week. And if push comes to shove, it'll be early next week, but it should be Thursday. All right.
Thank you so
Well,
much,
thank you
Lauren.
all,
Thank you
everybody.
all.
Great to have you all. Thanks.
Okay,
Take care.
bye.